Hey everybody, it's Arcturus here for another big discussion we have tonight. This is the legendary Goku versus Superman Death Battle episode we'll be talking about, giving our analysis about it. Unfortunately, tonight we were supposed to have a debate, Goku versus Superman. Unfortunately, the person on the Goku camp has not shown up. So unfortunately, we're out a debater. So un thankfully, the other person, Chris Soto, the Superman expert, has shown up. He's been ready, and we'll be going over our thoughts in the episode.
Hey everybody, it's Arcturus here
Whoa,
for
give me one
another big
second.
discussion we had tonight.
I had the link up. Anyways, yeah, Chris Soto, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
All right. So, that being said, I'm gonna have to edit that part out. I suppose let's get started on the episode itself. I felt that it was one of their best episodes, not just because it was a big topic, but also because the animation was pretty good. The analysis was very good, not perfect. I mean, it's got its flaws, as do all death battles. I guess they could have used a number of different ways to analyze Goku's strength. However, the 40-ton multiplier, but the 40-ton gravity formula thing they did, it works for Busag, I suppose. Having Goku be on light speed by the end of the series, I'm okay with that. But that being said, how did you feel about that episode?
That was actually the first death battle that I actually saw that came out on time. I started watching Death Battle 2 weeks before the episode aired. I was watching a bunch of the reruns, and then I was like, oh, okay, Blanca versus Pikachu. And then I see the trailer for Goku versus Superman. It's like, I never need this answered, but for some reason, I need to know now. Because Superman's by far my favorite character. I have a Connor Kent tattoo actually on my left shoulder, the black and red Superman shield. And I argued this for weeks until it finally aired, because then you know how they had to wait, and they showed the episode like 2 weeks after it was supposed to. It was supposed to air at the end of the world. Remember?
20, yeah, it was December 21st, 2012. Yeah.
Yeah. Which made the end of the episode, it was supposed to make sense and coincide with that. But then, there are animation issues. But I loved the episode. I thought the 3D was, well, not the 3D, but the animation was spot on, so I can see why it took them so long. The analysis for Superman, you can see that they were holding back a lot. Like, even the scenes that they showed, they were holding back a lot. And at first, I thought they were going to be biased because of that. Like, before I even saw the fight, I was like, I'm looking at their analysis. I was like, well, they keep saying this number, but the scan is showing a much higher number. Are they going to take it from Superman? And then all of a sudden, I see the fight. And I'm like, oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I do not believe Goku's light speed. He's never shown a feat that's light speed, and I've had people argue with me about the whole light speed thing, and it's never worked.
I mean, Jimmy has had some pretty convincing arguments for most people when I see the light speed stuff. It's a lot of the Death Battle aired thing.
Light speed argument, though. His light speed argument we got.
Huh. Yeah. Sorry. I didn't quite hear that last part. Your phone was cutting in and out.
Yeah, I actually beat his light speed argument. His whole argument about the solar flare being light speed, and he was able to beat it. And that's like, no. On Earth, light it moves as fast as the fastest object, which is Earth. Light can only move as fast on Earth as the rotation of the Earth, which is like roughly around 600 meters per second. Still pretty fast, though.
Wow, I was that I was not aware of. I never heard that the relative discussion about light speed. I never heard that one before.
Yeah, see, the way it works is C is always constant in a vacuum.
Huh.
We don't live in a vacuum. We live on Earth. Earth has its gravity sphere. So they did I looked at, there was a physicist online that discussed it, and he says by taking a flashlight while you're on a speeding car and aiming it at another speeding car.
Huh.
And the way they say it is that it's relative and constant to this motion of the Earth, because that's the fastest movement, because you're in a vacuum. You're not in a vacuum. So when I saw that, I was like, huh. I did the math on that, and before I even saw that article, I was like, wait a minute. didn't I say that he was faster than movement itself? Like that he's faster than Tien's hand movement to create the solar flare.
Hmm.
I was looking at it, and I was like, technically, he didn't beat the solar flare. He just went fast enough for Tien's hand movement to go maybe 10 meters away and grab Roshi's sunglasses. That's not light speed.
Yeah.
I mean, he did it fast enough where it was faster than the eye can see. The faster than the eye can see is about 300 meters per second. Still, not light speed.
Huh. So you're arguing that he's massively hypersonic?
Oh, I would say that. Yeah, he's definitely hypersonic. But then there's the other argument when he's an adult. I'm not going to use Snake Way. My all-time favorite argument to use against Goku about his speed was when Kid Buu was destroying the Earth.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, he couldn't run away.
He couldn't run away. I mean, it's not that he couldn't run away. I mean, you're blowing up the planet. Where on Earth are you going to go?
Right. But like
And it's
flying,
not-
he couldn't outrun it, and as fast as he could, like he was flying away really quickly, and if he was that fast, he would have been like crossing continents and stuff like that.
Exactly. And the whole argument was he didn't have enough time to save his kids and or Dende and Hercule. He could only do one or the other.
Okay.
So it's like,
that's interesting.
and then the argument was, well, the ball was moving at light speed. It was slowed down. I was like, no, Hercule can see and understand it.
Yeah, that's a
He
good
knew
point.
what was going on because he was moving around.
Yeah,
So
if it
it's
was
like-
light speed too. If it was light speed, like it would have ripped Hercule up to pieces once he was picked up by Goku.
Well, let's say, because I used that argument against with Superman also, let's say that whatever Goku holds onto, his ki kind of wraps around to protect whoever he's holding onto. Same
Okay.
way Superman grabs onto somebody, his aura kind of envelops them a little bit. So when he travels at light speed, it doesn't like destroy them, kind of thing.
Okay.
Or when he's like that, I will argue that that's a good way. Like that's a good way to explain why people don't just like immediately die when they're getting picked up. Or if someone's falling from a building, why Goku or Superman, whenever they grab someone to prevent them from like getting crushed, they don't fall into like 3 equal parts from them
Okay.
landing in their arm. So
That's
I mean,
a good point.
so I'm okay with that because that if not, you're never gonna enjoy your show because the feats that all of our superheroes do would kill anybody. Like the Flash would have murdered everyone during that massively light speed feat with the nuclear explosion. He would have killed everyone. He saved no one in that feat. Everyone was liquefied the moment he touched them. You can't think of it like that. They're suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, like I noticed that Speed Force is kind of a nice cop out. Kind of a nice way to write around the crazy physics of Flash. I was having a debate recently was if he were to fight Spider-Man, and it was some guy was like, yeah, I think Spider-Man could beat the Flash, and I was like, okay, let me break this down for you.
The TV show, yeah, sure, I'll give him that. In the TV show.
it was a comic book. It was like DC versus Marvel picture, and you were like, oh, Batman's gonna get killed by Wolverine, and I was like, hold on, if the Flash really wanted to, he could knock all of them out in a heartbeat, like nothing. He's absurdly powerful.
I've gotten into so many arguments where people will just block me. It's like I'll get them. I either get blocked or I realize that the argument is so hopelessly against them that I'd rather just troll than try to explain to them how they're wrong. I used to be a serious debater 2 years ago. Now I troll because it's more fun.
Right.
However, on the serious debates where I'm going against someone who's actually intelligent, I will not insult them by trolling. That's a cop out. To me, that's a huge cop out.
Yeah. As long as you know that they're the opponent he's on the right level where you know that he's processing what you're telling him, and he's coming from the right place. Like
yeah.
If it's someone like there's some other people. There's this one guy named like Moise something. That dude.
Moise?
Oh God.
Messages every so often because he's too afraid to face you, so he'll message me through you. Like he'll start like this long paragraph, and I'll just message you, and I was like, yeah. Long story short, Morris is a pussy. So there you go.
Yeah, it's just some people like that. I mean, and you get those kind of fanboys from anywhere. again, if anybody's any comments or questions, let's see. Let's see.
My favorite is that's my
Yeah.
favorite person to argue against because
Who?
it's so fun. It's like you can mess with it. Kansas Takagi, like he doesn't have a big.
Oh.
I love arguing with him. Why? Because he gets riled up so easily.
Well, here's the thing. We have a. I guess I should state a rule about names in here. We will only name names of people that don't have. If the name is not their real name, then obviously it's not infringing on their privacy.
Exactly.
But real people. Right. So that person's name. That's not a real name. So.
I was.
But with the thing about real names, we only really refer to people by first names on here. We don't use last names unless they're a guest. Like Jimmy, you know, he's a guest, so obviously his name was
Yeah,
everyone's
I
his
understand.
name.
It's like but it's a fake name. It's a pen name. Like for example, mine is Frank West. Everyone knows that's not a real name.
Yeah. Right.
Unless you never played Rising. Then
Right. I guess before we get going on, could you? I forgot if you did or not, but do you have to happen to have like another mic because your phone is kind of cutting in and out here.
Let me see. Hang on.
Okay. And while that's going on, we can I guess I can keep answering questions and stuff like that. We got West Falcon on here, Thomas Echo Prime, which is interesting. The two people that are commenting are also going to be the people that in 3 days on Tuesday we'll be having the big showdown between DBZ and GBGT. I'm sorry, Battle of Gods versus GT. That one should be pretty interesting when it happens.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
But yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Those guys, they know their stuff. There's problems with both of them, and personally, I feel that I personally feel that GT kind of gets more of a bad rap compared to Battle of Gods. Like Battle of Gods seems to get like a free pass half the time, where I don't think that it's.
I think it's fair.
It's not horrible, but I just don't think it deserves the free pass it gets compared to the problems. Yeah, GT's got its problems, but so does Battle of Gods, and that's only one movie.
Oh yeah,
so
I mean,
that,
my favorite thing is that now that Battle of the Gods has been released, that Goku can punch stars.
I know that the planet is like, oh man.
I did the math on that.
Yeah.
I genuinely did the math on that. No, he cannot punch stars. It's super dense, but that's only based on like a bunch of things. Like for example, when was the planet ever remade since Dragon Ball Z?
I know there's a lot of those kind of plot holes floating around.
And then of course, like if it is as dense as a star, then does that mean that Cell can destroy something that dense? Because a star, yeah, it's dense, but you destroy it with like a fusion reaction. That's how you would blow it up, as opposed to what Cell did. Cell obliterated the planet, and it's supposed to. When I have to do in the math, it's like we're talking about quadrillions of times denser than Earth.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's
really
impossible
huge.
for Cell to do. And here's the best part. Here's my best argument against it. Proof that it's not that. Didn't Raccoon like land head first into the planet and was stuck into it?
Right. Yep.
So you mean to tell me that he can bust a planet with his fist? Because
he can break into it. Yeah.
Yeah. If it's that dense, you can't even touch it.
Yep.
That means the entire planet's made out of kaching.
Yeah, Catching, yeah, that whole thing. I've seen that argument a few times where I'm hearing a big echo. Yeah, I hear that argument a lot when someone's like, "Oh, Goku or Superman's the Man of Steel." Remember when Goku broke the hardest steel in the universe? Oh man, there's like 15 things wrong with that statement. I see that meme all the time.
Well, the people who made that don't watch Dragon Ball Z.
Right. They don't even know their own canon. Like, it's preposterous.
It's the densest metal, and it also wasn't the heaviest because people say, "Oh, he lifted it," and it's like, no. The actual phrase used by Supreme Kai was, "Let's use something with a little less mass and a lot more density."
Mm-hmm.
Well, that means that block right there is lighter than whatever Goku used before, which was a boulder. But it's a shit
Hmm.
ton denser. I
Right.
mean, logically that doesn't make sense, but I don't care. The Akira said it, so it's law.
It's like a couple other ones that people bring up. I think the one that I hate the most is the argument about the 40 tons like being on 10 times Earth's gravity, not understanding basic physics, where they're like, oh, if it's 40 tons of the Kai planet, it's actually 400 tons. No, if it's 40 tons on that planet, then it's 4 tons on Earth. If it's 10 times Earth's gravity, which is never stated. But to humor them, let's just say it is. Okay, that just
Still
means
not good enough.
it's 10 times less on Earth. That's all it means. It doesn't mean that like Earth is not this cosmic like speed limit thing for every other planet's gravity. No, if it's a weight on a planet with more gravity, it'll be less gravity on our planet. Period. No problem.
Yeah, they don't get it. But like I try to I humor them too, and I put that into the gravity formula, and it still doesn't work. Like I
Hmm.
tell them, it's like okay, then that means he's 10 times stronger, 10 times faster. Superman
Yeah.
is in the thousands upon millions of times. So how does that work?
Yeah.
You still lose.
Right. Right. Let me see. We're getting some other comments. Let me go read a few real quick. Actually, I'm gonna go see if we can get another guest in here because initially it was supposed to be three of us. Um, man, if we're lucky, no, Jimmy has not responded. I really wanted him on board here. Um, but I guess back to the death battle. If you were to make the death battle, how would you change things? The Superman Goku one.
Uh, let's see. One, I mean, you have to understand Death Battle as it does have the color commentary like the WWE has. So you got your boomstick, so it does have that comic relief to it, which makes it kind of difficult for some people to ascertain what's more knowledgeable and what's not, like what's a joke and what isn't. I think that's why some of the people who can't seem to understand why Goku lost, they're using that argument, and I'm like, to me, I think with this argument, they may have wanted to bring in an expert on each side to help
Yeah,
explain it. That would have been
that
better.
would right. I mean, I do like the fact that they went to these experts online, like the Kaizen Shu and the Superman homepage, all those things. That
Hmm.
that I definitely appreciated that. Um, so again, they were very thorough. At the end of it, though, I think one of my biggest frustrations, and this isn't really a complaint about Death Battle, but more of just a "come on, guys" kind of thing, which is um, the fact that Battle of Gods came out almost hot on the heels of this, and now we have this Super Saiyan God stuff, and it's like, oh my god, like now we're back to speculating. Because we don't know, because it's a really difficult because it is so ambiguous, like the whole God thing. Like, we don't know. We can only speculate about how powerful it is. All we know is that Beerus is really tough, and Goku was able to challenge him, and that's all we
And
got. We just
lost
know that.
though.
Yeah, he
But he
lost. He
lost,
lost.
and he
Yeah.
wasn't
So
even like remotely close to even.
right, right. Um,
So it's one of those things where, okay, well, compare someone at Superman's fault. It's like, okay, Beerus can make a solar system disappear in an instant. Okay, Imperex.
oh my God, that dude. That is such a level beyond anything we've seen in the series, and it's unfortunate when people like. I've seen him written off before. Like I saw an argument recently. It was Onslaught versus Empirix, and it was like, dude, there's nothing. There's no way to compare Onslaught to him. Onslaught's at the end of the day is still an Earth-based villain. This dude is the embodiment of the Big Bang itself. There's no
I mean,
comparison.
there is one way, and I don't know if you've ever seen this show, but it was Superman and I can't remember. It's the Legion of Superheroes. It was on
Yeah.
WB. That's the only Imperex that could
Oh,
face off against Onslaught.
he's like scaled down tremendously.
Yeah, he's
Like,
he's like we're talking the scale that I'm talking about is like Flash in CW versus Flash in the comic books. That's the difference in scale.
I figured that the TV. I never seen the new Flash series, but
It's
I
awesome.
I heard it's good. I heard it's good. I had a feeling that he wasn't going to be like pushing light speed anytime soon.
Oh no, but time travel's in the show.
I heard that Zoom. Yeah, if Zoom's in it, then you're gonna get time travel.
Yeah, Zoom. Well, they've already talked about the Barry's going to time travel, and so far the highest speed that I've seen him do, he broke the sound barrier.
Oh, Okay,
That
well,
was it.
that's
But
still
he's
kind of
still
low.
learning. Yeah, he's
Right.
still learning. And he broke the sound barrier relatively easily. And then
Mhm.
Zoom fucked him up because Zoom has all of his powers. Like Zoom already knows how to use them.
Right, and Zoom also is more time based. He's not so much like he
Exactly.
operates a little differently.
Well, no. Zoom uses the Speed Force. It's the other one. It's
The
Hunter
reverse.
Zolomon that does it. The other Reverse
Or-
Flash.
Oh, I didn't know. I knew there was Professor Zoom. I didn't know that they were two different. Thawne is this Professor Zoom same guy as Thawne or
Thawne. No,
okay?
there's Eopart Thawne, which if you haven't seen Flashpoint Paradox,
Oh,
anyone who's
I got
listening, you really
I,
should.
I yeah, I collected the whole. Actually, I had the whole series collected when it came out. I got that, and then I got Paradox. But yeah,
Nice.
Thawne's a tons of tough dude.
Thawne is a time traveler, but he got his powers using the same accident that Barry got his powers.
Uh-huh.
So he uses the Speed Force. There's another one who I think his name is Hunter Zolomon. I could be wrong, and if I am, I'm going to be crucified in the comments. But Hunter Zolomon got his powers with an accident with the cosmic treadmill. So he's my favorite Reverse Flash because the way he talks in the comics is that he speaks in like it's sort of like sounds like a stutter, but it's because he's a few moments into the future.
Oh,
So you're hearing
cool.
an echo. So whenever he talk, and the cool thing about him is that he wants to make a better hero. So he thinks to make a better hero is you have to introduce tragedy. So he just
Oh.
purposely screws up people. Like he's the one in the Infinite Crisis that disfigured Damage.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
that's a different Reverse Flash.
okay. That kind of confused me a little because I knew about Zoom. I knew about Thawne obviously since he was like such a centerpiece of Flashpoint, and
Yes.
I thought I was not sure about that. So that helps out a lot. But yeah, guys, if you comments, questions, whatnot, leave them. We'll definitely continue
Crucify
talking
me if
about.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, yeah, definitely fact check this. We've always we focus more on being right than having our feelings hurt. So if we get something wrong, let us know. One of the few things about Superman versus Goku that I had an issue with, and this is more like schematics here, was the fact that they messed up the speeds, and I mean that by base uh, base Goku was the same speed as Super Saiyan 2 Goku, was just a typo. That is like a legitimate like just mistake.
Yes.
They should have fixed that.
And
That
people could have used it. And
oh
people
my god.
honestly could have used it.
Right.
And they ignored it.
My God, I knew that like day one. I was just like, oh wow, I can't wait to see when people point that out and say that their analysis is crap. But no one used that. Everyone
And
focused
no
on
one touched it.
yeah, and everyone got the snake wave feet. They got that wrong. Like
Oh,
they were
yeah.
like, oh yeah, they just used the snake wave feet. No, they multiplied it. Like they scaled it up for reference. They didn't just use it. And
Even so, the snake wave feed is still not impressive, even if you say that he did a million
right, you
kilometers.
could
Which,
multiply everything by a billion, and he's still. God, I really wish we had Jimmy, because Jimmy, he would at least have an argument here, but
okay, I'm gonna tell you what Jimmy's argument is because he's used it against me for the most past couple years.
okay.
But Snake Way is not a million kilometers. What Snake Way is it travels across the universe because apparently Akira made a little globe that shows what the universe is in Dragon Ball, and there's
Yeah, I saw
like a
that.
sphere. So my counter argument to this, which he just said it's purely speculation, I said, well, you have to remember Akira is the creator, so you're speculating, which means that two things happen, and this is the thing: Snake Way is not a complete circle. We know this.
Right.
It's not. There's an end to it. It's also like ridiculously funny when Dragon Ball Abridged does it. But anyway, Snake Way is not a complete circle. It doesn't go around. So automatically, that picture is false if you say that it goes all the way around because it doesn't. So there's that. Also, Akira says it's a million kilometers. So
Hmm.
either Akira is saying that the universe is only a million kilometers long, or, and this is my favorite theory, you remember Men in Black?
Oh yeah.
Remember the galaxy can fit on Orion's collar?
Yep. Ryan's belt.
Same principle. Same principle.
Hmm.
The cosmos is looking down on the universe, and the universe is so small
Okay.
that that a million kilometer long snake way can wrap around it because
Okay.
it's condensed down so that the gods can look on it. And really, it actually means that the afterlife you're bigger than the people that are on Earth, and when you travel on Earth, you become normal size. And that's not something that's like completely lost because that's how it is in Jack Kirby's
Well,
representation of the new gods.
I mean to I
So
mean
it
to,
makes sense.
let's we actually got some comments here. I didn't have a chance to read these.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me go back real quick. We have let's see. I'm just going back. Messibo's got some points. Let's see. So basically, the term black hole shouldn't be used. Blah blah.
Gravity distortion. Okay.
No, I'm keep moving on. He also okay. He said quote unquote. He said Screw Attack used multiple versions of Superman, only one version of Goku. He also brought up that he said
These
those.
two.
We said though Snake Wave base Goku is not the same as N to Z base Goku. Base Goku at the end of DBZ was at least hundreds of times stronger. Right, but this is where a lot of the fans get it wrong. They took
Yep.
the feet, they took the Snake Wave feet, and then they multiplied it by about 586, which is equal to the 40,
Yeah, that's
the
exactly.
40
That was
ton
dead
weight.
on, actually.
Right. So they multiplied it by, almost 600 times to account for his 40-ton limit in base form. So yes, it's base Goku, but it's Goku multiplied nearly 600 times to make up for the Buu difference. So again, they upscaled that feat to be Buu level. That's where people seem to get it wrong a lot. They didn't just take the Snake Way feat and use that as a speed. No, again, they took the feat and then multiplied it by that number to bring him to Buu level. And again, if you want to take the whole thing, multiply it by 1 billion, and he's still outclassed from what I've read.
Yeah, massively outclassed, actually. But,
Right.
this is something that Screw Attack brought up in one of their subsequent interviews. And again, they were at Asylum Con in Tampa in 2013. I was there. And they brought up the same thing. People, when they argue about, oh, Goku can win, don't even repeat the facts that they said in the show correctly.
Right. They're blinded. Like there are people that can make good arguments, but a lot of them are blinded by like their favoritism, which
Yeah.
it defeats your own argument when you're not even on the same page as the people you're arguing with.
Exactly.
So that gets my nerves because it's like you could have a good argument. I'm always for seeing someone bring up another reason why. If you're gonna for me, if you want to bring up that Goku could beat Superman, then you got to use there's a lot of problems in that aired article. I'm kind of tired of seeing it. However, it's better than half the arguments I see from DBC fans.
It's
it
still a
tries.
wrong argument.
Right. It tries, and it puts a lot of effort in, but, I mean, they give Goku this tremendous benefit of the doubt on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Let's see. I got some person here.
I always had to argue that, and I've always said this to people all the time. If you have to make this tremendously weird formula and all of this speculation to make one person equal to something that's already sent, Superman's set in stone. So if you have to do this argument, where you have to make this formula for Goku, but Superman's just right there. It's like, oh, he can do this, this, and this because this, and this. It's like, really? Well, Superman just did that. And he's already stronger than what the hell you just talking about.
Right.
And then of course there's Outlier, but you don't want to get into that because then they get pissed.
So we have 15 Mike Mouse here saying, I keep debating with people who say the Flash can't touch Beerus. It's unreal. Yeah, I mean, the thing with we got to address the God thing. In Dragon Ball Z, the moment you become a god, the title is a relative title. We have seen this when we met Kami. We saw this when we met King Kai. We met Supreme Kai. All these people with godly titles, and what did it do for them? Nothing. It means nothing. So
one died.
Right.
Two of them died, actually.
So it's like, and then Boo murdered a bunch of them. So what exactly? God does not apply. It is a. Then I see this stuff. Oh yeah, well you need a godly key to hurt gods. Well, what about Vegeta? Like he was hitting him pretty hard, and I mean he may have been holding back, but he still did damage to the dude. So where's that argument?
Kind of made him nervous, actually.
Right. I mean he hit him, and he was also blocking shots from Beerus. He was actually defending, which I thought was stupid. Super Saiyan Vegeta does better than Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks and Mystic Gohan, but that's a whole other argument for another time.
Well, I mean, my biggest problem, I know people compare writers. And they said, "Oh no, you can only use what the original writer did because that's what they did with Akira, with Akira for Goku." And I said, "You do know that the original creators of Superman were involved with Superman when he pulled an entire solar system with a giant chain.
Yes. Also, one other thing too.
That's the Superman you want to use.
Mesibo, he's saying that you have a point. They were talking about Goku Saiyan transformations, not his base level power. They multiply the same. No. Mesibo, I would implore you to watch the Death Battle again. In that,
Please do.
Go to the stats. Goku's base level was multiplied by about 586, give or take. They used the 40-ton feat in the Buu saga, or on the Kai planet, and then multiplied his body weight times the amount that the tons are they would use that multiplier to his base feat in Saiyan Saga. They upscaled him to Buu and then did the multipliers for the Saiyan transformations, which is 50 for Super Saiyan 1, 2 for Super Saiyan 2, 5 for Super Saiyan 3. To be honest, if I were to fix something there, I would probably make Super Saiyan 2 maybe like 4. And that might be good.
What they actually did was Super Saiyan 1 was 50, 2 was 100, and then Super Saiyan 3 is 400, and then Super Saiyan 4 is 4,000 times base. Technically, if they want to get into it, I just did the math right now. They multiplied Goku's power from the Snake Way saga 2,344,000 times. That's 586 times 4,000.
Oh,
that's the gravity formula, then multiplied by GT's Super Saiyan 4 transformation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did for the stats.
Yes.
That's honestly what they did for the stats.
And so again, you're looking at an upscaled. You're looking at an upscaled Goku. I'm telling you, buddy.
Yeah.
They were just using Saiyan Saga Goku, then yeah, of course, like that, it would be nonsense because Goku by the time Rakum showed up was he was what 90,000. I mean, yeah. Let's go to the power levels. Before all that, his power level at base was a little over 8,000. And then by the time he reached Namek, his base power level was 90,000, 180,000 with double Kaioken. And then when he fought Frieza, he was 3 million. Of course, yeah, that's definitely an upgrade. So they wouldn't just use the Saiyan Saga feat. That would be silly. And even before his power level in the Saiyan Saga was 8,000, that was a feat from where. No, that was his feat returning home. So again, it was upscaled, and they did it justice. I mean. And even if that's not sufficient, you can multiply him by 1 billion, and he's still not going to be touching the feats that were presented by Superman. No. It's a moot point.
Remember when we all started to try to find our own little theories of how strong Goku was? And I had the most comprehensive one that people don't do it as much because Goku versus Superman is banned in just about every forum that I see. It is just it's so bad that they ban it.
I wouldn't be surprised because we have one of the big problems is it's a lot of people that have kind of fan goggles on, and they don't care about the analysis. They care about their character winning, which is why we see a lot of people not even getting the points in Screw Attack correctly down in the first place. If you got a problem with the video, then study the video, look for problems in the video, and then argue against it. But if you're getting the facts they're presenting wrong, then you're defeating yourself because these are facts. So why would you want to walk into a debate ill prepared? Yeah.
That's how when I the video I hate the most from Screw Attack is the White Tiger versus the Gundam, the Epson. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. I looked at it and I was like, wait a minute. The Megazord survived the planet busting attack. How the hell did that survive?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm confused here.
There's some silly stuff going on here. I might have to dip in and out, and so as a result, our buddy West Falcon might be able to. He'll be filling in when I need to leave. Yeah. I just figured that I saw him on chat, and I might need someone to fill in for a little bit. So
sure.
Yeah. So thanks Wes for tuning in. If you want to say hi real quick, he's in our reserves. Can you hear us, Wes? Hey. All right. Cool.
Hey, Wes.
We have backup co-host in case something happens. There's a chance I might have to leave, and again, I really want to keep this going. I want people to keep contributing, and I would have got Thomas. He's got that mic coming in. I'm not sure if it's in or not. He said it should be in today, but I just forgot to ask. But I really can't wait for you guys to do your duke it out in a couple of days. But That being said,
And if we
yeah,
and if I get some more time, like actually told, hey, he's gonna be here for sure. Jimmy, I'll go ahead, go to Best Buy, and I'll get myself a new mic like
yeah.
immediately.
I mean, it works right now. I haven't heard any issues anymore, but earlier there was a little bit of connecting problems. So it sounds
Oh,
good to
that's
me
because
now.
I live in Florida and it sucks. That's
Oh, okay,
why.
there you go. But yeah, it's one of the problems is everybody like that I was going to bring on board. Most of them are on the same page I am with this, and I wanted people
Yeah.
from different kind of camps. And Jimmy was like a perfect example of someone that was from the other camp. And with Wes here, I mean, all three of us are pretty much on the same page about this debate.
Yeah. See, I wanted Gabe because Gabe is he doesn't really troll. He just sort of goes, "Listen, I know you're being ignorant, but I need you to listen to me for 1 second." And he'll
Yeah,
explain everything, and he'll go, "I don't agree with you, but I respect you." Like that's the
I know.
kind of like argument you'll get.
He was the other idea I had. Jimmy's on my friend list, and I wanted to
Yeah,
try him first. But Gabe
got it.
might be the person we asked if we can get him to fill in. Those two are like, for my opinion, the two best equipped to argue on Goku's case because there is a way to do it.
There is. I mean, for the first time ever, I argued for Goku against the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh wow.
Just because I
Like,
was like, that's not fair. I was like, that's a stupid argument to begin with. And then I started watching it. Like I gave myself 2 hours to prepare myself for the debate, and I watched about 12 episodes of the Powerpuff Girls, and I was like,
well,
man, I'm
um,
too old for this show.
so apparently Jimmy has been at has been at the DMV the entire time. He still says he's still at the DMV. That
I don't.
must be.
I'm pretty sure it's a representation of hell.
Oh,
The DMV is
it's
like a black hole where like no happiness exists.
Well, then if that's the case, let's try to do one more shot. He's not able to make it tonight, but if it is the DMV, my God, like I know it's bad, but
You have
the
no at
one,
the DMV. You have to be there when they open, and you'll have a 45-minute wait time.
yeah, it's kind of preposterous. So I was a little
I'm
irritated
being.
because I was going
I
to.
believe him. Like I'm his opponent. I have nothing to lose from him
Yeah,
being here and everything to gain from him being gone. I'm like, even I agree. Yeah, that's a legitimate excuse because the DMV sucks.
yeah. I mean, again, I'm not going to hold him too much tonight. It's unfortunate. I'd love to have him here tonight, but maybe we could try another one because again, I think both you guys are the perfect like matchup for this one. It's definitely either Gabe or him, and that you're talking about like this would be the most heated argument possible,
And,
in my opinion,
and
for this.
considering I'm from the other camp, and even I respect them as debaters, that
Yeah,
is saying something for them
yeah.
because the Dragon
It's
Ball Z fandom, and I'm a member of this fandom, has its arrogant members.
oh my God, right?
Oh
There are some
god.
rough ones. I mean, there's a few of them that are really rough.
Oh yeah.
He says
Hmm.
he's free in the coming week. If we want to give it another go. So maybe we can try one next week. So we'll have two back to back, not back to back, but we'll have two relatively close together Superman vs. Goku episodes, trying to kind of get it out of our collective systems here.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the gigantic Uzaru in the room, which is
Yeah.
the Goku vs. Superman here, and this would not be a good DBZ channel if we did not cover it because it is just
I
so
mean,
prominent.
I see. As much as I love Dragon Ball Z, I mean, it was a huge part of my childhood, all the way up to when I was in high school. But I do have a problem a little with Akira because I watched Dragon Ball Z up until the Cell Saga before I saw Dragon Ball.
Uh-huh.
And I started watching Dragon Ball, and I thought it was magical. It was completely different from Dragon Ball Z. It was amazing. And then I started to get mad because I'm looking at it, and I was like, Dragon Ball was really cool. Like, you had no idea what Goku was. Like, you obviously, if you saw Dragon Ball Z, you did.
Uh-huh.
But you're looking at it, and it's like he could turn into a giant ape, which looked more like a werewolf, a giant werewolf at first. Because of the face was like different, didn't really look like an ape. But anyway, you can turn to a giant ape at a full moon. More reason why I thought it was a werewolf. And then it was like, okay, all right, that's awesome. And it couldn't explain it. And he was just like this, like 8-year-old kid who only cared about fighting and food. And I was like, that's amazing. Then you watch Dragon Ball Z, and then all of a sudden, his origins ripped completely from Superman, and then he's an
I
alien.
know.
And then Piccolo, who was a demon, is a slug person. I don't know how that happened. Like he took all the things that made his show magical, and then Frank Millered it. He
Frank
found a
Miller
way
did.
to destroy his own universe. And
I
I
don't
was
know
like,
about that. I mean, I kind of liked. How do you actually? Yeah, Wes. How do you feel about that assertion? I kind of think it was cool that they brought some science. I mean, there's a right and a wrong way to do it. I felt that it was kind of in the right camp, in my opinion.
Uh, it was all right. Um, I don't really like it. The whole Akira Toriyama was gonna originally release that Goku was a Saiyan in the Piccolo saga anyway,
Oh, he was interesting.
but I prefer the mystery behind it when he was still a little kid rather than he's an alien, he's sent to Earth. I mean, it's not even just those
it's not
two
even
that are
creative.
unique to having that backstory. So many stories have got the whole, oh, he was sent to Earth, save the day,
The
beat the bad
Thundercats.
guy.
Yeah,
Thundercats.
Yeah,
Thundercats.
exactly.
Everybody, Thunder. Yeah,
Thundercats have done it. I mean, even technically, Superman is not even that like original to begin with, because technically that's the same story Moses got. So his backstory goes back to biblical times. So it's like it's not the same. Moses didn't come from another planet, but it's close. It was inspired. But then you look at
yeah.
I don't know. You turn Piccolo, for example, because I love Piccolo. He's one of my favorite characters, and he
No,
turns
he's a good.
from
Yeah.
he turns from a demon, like he's like literally the yin and yang. Kami's a god, and he's a demon. It's the god versus the devil aspect. And I was like, cool. And they're the same person. They're two sides of the same coin. I was like, that's impressive. Next
Yeah.
show, no slug person.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
well, I mean, he's still an awesome guy, but no,
Nah, he's a babysitter now. He's a babysitter.
Demon King Piccolo. Prefer that.
Yeah, he's a baby. You're right. He's a babysitter now, and he does. He was not just. He was like Goten and Gohan, both of them.
Goku is the worst father ever.
He's up there.
I never thought about it until I watched Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and I was like, wow, he's kind of a dick.
Yep. I mean, he really is the best father in the world.
I've never seen that. And then I'm so glad that Dragon Ball Z Abridged is now in the Cell Saga, and they're talking about Vegeta as a dad.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Hey, to be honest, for what it's worth, he did spend a little more time with Trunks in the Buu saga.
Training starts now. And it's
I know. But at least he kept his son involved in the training. I mean, with Goku, he had a nasty habit of just vanishing.
Yeah, he's like, man, he really doesn't know how to dodge. Yeah, I know that. That was they got it perfectly. I got to give Team 4-Star the credit where credit's due. They know how to make fun and glorify a show at the same time.
Yeah, we got some discussions going on about the Flash here. Echo Prime's down in the trenches with the comments right now.
Am I wrong?
No. He's bringing up. He's like, one guy argues that Superman can keep up with the Flash, and the person says doesn't that defeat the purpose of the Flash? I mean, I guess it's a funny point to make, but no, I mean, you can keep up with the Flash, and the Flash is still quite fast. It's thing is pretty much accepted that Flash is always gonna be faster than Superman, if only by a little bit maybe, but he's always gonna have the speed on Superman.
Yeah.
It's just not by too much.
I have to admit, though, one argument that people use in Goku versus Superman, and it's a poor argument. They say Goku is he's just more interesting than Superman.
Yeah.
I mean, that means nothing in an argument. It's like, okay, does his popularity mean that like he's not a better character? Does Superman not have super strength? Do you have to clap and believe in Superman for his power to go up? No, it doesn't work that way.
He's got a good point
I started thinking about that, and then I was watching it, and then here's a perfect example of Superman could be either an interesting character or a boring character. Flashpoint paradox. How all the heroes were disarming the bombs on the rogues. How does Superman do it?
And Flash
just wraps his hand around the bomb.
Yep.
It's like everybody's finding like this cool way to do it. Like Aquaman is dissolving it with plankton. Okay, that was really cool. Like Wonder Woman just took the freeze ray and did it. Batman disarming it with Green Lantern. Superman, I'm just gonna hold on to it with my hands.
Yeah, that's it. I thought that was pretty funny, actually.
Oh, that's not as impressive as I thought it would be.
Yeah,
it's like
I thought it was kind of funny.
Easy.
Yeah, I thought it was funny though. I was like, yeah,
It's
that's
hilarious.
Superman.
I thought it was. I was like, wow, he makes everything just so easy. Everybody has to struggle and try hard, and then Superman's like, yeah, hang on, this is a job for Superman. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
hold this.
Literally,
and,
it's a
we're
job for
done.
Superman. Yeah.
But that's
That
cool.
was kind of flipped
you know
on its
what?
head in Justice League 1 of the New 52. That was kind of flipped on its head with Darkseid, where Superman was actually the only one, well, apart from Green Lantern, but Superman was pretty much the only one to be properly taken down by Darkseid.
I know.
I mean,
He
Wonder
was-
Woman and Aquaman stabbed his eyes out, so...
Unless you watch the movie, in which case they replaced Aquaman with the Flash for stabbing the eye out. But yeah, they were the only one because they're combat specialists. They're like, yeah, we're gonna go for the weak spots. Superman
Yeah.
just went like, I'm gonna punch it.
I'm gonna hit it really hard and hopefully it'll break.
Which,
Yeah.
but at the same time, Justice League War, that movie, and also the comic book issues, you also see just how powerful Superman is. Like he just manhandled Green Lantern. He looked at the Flash and just flicked him. Like he was so fast, he actually caught Flash and flicked him.
Yeah, he flicked him into a building or something.
But again,
Yeah,
I think we don't. I have a feeling the Flash was not going all out in that fight. I think neither one of them were. So
No.
I know,
we
but
didn't
at the
see
same time,
Flash.
like that was all it was needed. It's like the Flash wasn't aware of what Superman can do, and then Superman just goes, up, there you go. I just took out the
Right.
lead, okay, and then Darkseid shows up and takes him out with the Omega beam.
Yep.
It's because
That
Darkseid's
was-
the best character.
I know that's pretty
how
cool.
I like how they portray him in New 52. He's a giant. He's like 12 feet tall.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is-
they made him a
that
little
is
bigger.
really pretty
Got rid of
cool.
the skirt too.
Oh yeah. I
Hey,
miss
come
the
on, let's get stylish.
skirt.
Yeah, no more skirt.
Better than what happened when in Final Crisis. I still can't stand that book.
That book was so confusing. I have every tie-in. I bought every issue. When they came out, I had the entire collection of Final Crisis, and I still don't quite know what happened.
You know what's my favorite book from Final Crisis?
Which one?
The Legion of Superheroes one, because they
I
fought
heard that was
Superboy
really good.
Prime.
I have it. I just didn't get around to reading.
It's great, and then you see it, and it's like, wow, Superboy Prime is like I don't like using this term, but I'm going to use it just in this one sentence. He's the Superman version of a DBZ-tard.
I know when he went into
Oh my
the he showed up on the blog sites and was like, nah. Yeah,
he was
That
arguing.
was awesome.
And then he's in Blackest Night, and in Blackest Night he's really cool. Like he's a character that I'm a little upset that New 52 got rid of. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I mean, you could have done so much more, but that stupid lawsuit just really screwed up DC. And then DC went in and screwed it up themselves.
Mhm.
It's like, you know, we are in a shitty situation. How do we make it shittier?
Mhm.
Oh, New 52.
Why did they
there we
bring
go.
back the Crime Syndicate as well? Out of all of the ones they could bring back.
Because first off, awesome. I love alternate realities. So when I hear Crime Syndicate back, I was like, I have no problems with this. Continue. If they
we
bring back
gotta-
Superboy Prime, I'm gonna be upset because they're gonna fuck him up. That's all I know.
And it wasn't even like really Superman. Like people always argue that they bring up Superman Prime beating him with like Kryptonite or something. Superman Prime, Superboy Prime wasn't even like Kal-El. He was something different than Kal-El.
He was Kal-El, but with an L instead of an EL.
No, that's you're talking about Earth 1 Superman. Evil
No, I'm talking
Superboy
about.
Prime
I'm
was
talking about Prime. I'm talking
Nah.
about
Prime
Earth
was from
Prime.
Prime was from the Silver Age. He was some kid that
Oh, no,
really wanted. He wanted to be Superman really bad, right? And through some sort of science experiment, he was a fan of Superman from this universe. He became Superman. Like he actually is not. He's. There's a reason why it's hard.
No,
for
that's one story, but there is actually a different story where he actually is a Kal-El from a planet Krypton, where instead of it getting instead of it blowing up, Rao, the red sun, swallowed the planet.
Oh, that's intense.
But he's still Silver Age Superman. It's just a different origin. Like Kryptonite affects him, but only Kryptonite from his
His native
planet,
dimension.
from his exactly. Which Element Lad, if you do read that tie-in, which you should, Element Lad from Earth Prime or the Prime Universe actually makes kryptonite that can hurt him.
Oh, cool.
And it's really cool, and then he dies. He was effective for all of a panel.
Oh man, that would have.
Like,
For the most part, I love DC writing, but sometimes it gets a little dumb.
Well, no, he like tossed kryptonite through his chest.
Oof.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I mean, like, there's relative speed going through your chest. I mean, but then again, I've seen worse. Like, for example, Superman got cut by Wonder Woman. Like, a sword grazed his cheek, and she's like threatening him with it, and he just takes the blood off his cheek and flicks it at her
Yeah,
at
I've
super
seen
speed,
that.
and shatters her sword. And I was like, okay, that's like the best thing I've ever heard.
Clever.
It was
Yeah.
like, that's clever. It's
So,
like, okay.
If you were to make another death battle, one that Goku is like a more even match against, what comic book character do you feel is a better chance? Like, what could Goku conceivably be without it being a stomp?
Oh, that's so hard. I mean, technically, shit. Because, yes, the cool thing about Goku is that he is such an original character. So there really is no copy comic book wise that I can think of. I could be wrong. I mean, Dragon Fist is a martial artist. Dragon Fist is also on the complete opposite end of the spectrum.
I mean, Iron
It's like-
Fist.
Yeah.
Yeah, Iron Fist. I don't understand. Like during X-Men versus Avengers, why was the Iron Fist somehow a threat to the Phoenix Force? Like I was like, who is this? Goku now?
Whoa, what?
Because he can control it. Life energy is chi, and he can channel it.
Yeah,
But I thought the Phoenix Force like pretty much controlled all the life energy in the universe, or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like they found some bullshit reason. Like for example, the same way that during the Dark Phoenix saga, like Colossus was like the only person that could beat her
And
at some point.
complete nonsense
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, so it's like, and then of course, if they ever find a way to put this into the movies, Wolverine will be the answer.
Oh right, yeah. God, Wolverine. I am so sick and tired of Wolverine. I really hope he stays gone.
He's not. He's gonna be the new one. I know he is.
Yeah.
But the bad part is, I like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I really do.
He does a good job.
But I'm just sick and tired of every movie being involved in him. And I don't know about you, but I liked Days of Future Past. I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was okay. I didn't feel
as
it was
far
like
as-
A material. Like people were saying, oh, it's best of the series. No, they just somehow made a way to breathe life into a franchise that should have been over with 5 years ago. That's all the movie was doing. It was like, oh, guys, we're still relevant. We can keep the license, right? That's the way it was made. It's like that's the way First Class was made.
But then again, look at what they're going to do with Fantastic Four, and you're like,
It could have been
there's
worse.
a good way of keeping a license, and then there's that way.
Oh my god, Fantastic Four. Jeez. I mean, I would rather watch Evolution than what they're gonna do with Fantastic Four, with Doctor Doom, what they're ruining.
Okay, first off, Evolution was actually a good show. I like it.
I'm talking about Dragon Ball Evolution, dude. No, I mean,
Oh God,
yeah.
no, that was.
I'd
terrible.
rather watch
I'm
that
talking
than the
about
new
X-Men
Fantastic
Evolution.
Four, just from what I've heard. Like, what they're
Hey, do you know I got my money back for watching that? Movie.
really.
Oh yeah, we were watching it, and then I went to the front desk and I demanded my money back. And there was like, no, we're giving everyone's money back because there was a person in your theater that was cursing and screaming at the screen, and everyone complained. Lo and behold, that person was me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was like, what the fuck? That is not Kame House. Like, I was screaming and cursing, and everyone was offended, but they were too afraid to say something.
So when
So we went to the front desk
responding
and got the money.
angrily pays off.
Apparently.
That was wow. I'm impressed. Way to go, man.
If it wasn't for the fact that I got paid to watch Green Lantern, I would have done the same thing to that movie.
I felt that I felt Green Lantern was not. It didn't kind of deserve the hate that it got compared to like Evolution, Batman and Robin stuff. I mean, even Batman and Robin. Like I think that's hilarious watching Schwarzenegger, dish out the ice puns left and right. So I'll give it that. That was entertaining.
That was entertaining for that.
Oh my
one
god!
purpose.
Okay, here's what I have a theory.
If you saw it as okay, do you guys want to see the 1960s Batman movie remastered? Watch Batman and Robin.
Yeah. here's the thing about that. I have a theory about why Arnold got the role. I think Schumacher at that
popular.
point. Well, at this point, I felt that Schumacher was probably like, all right, we're gonna make a movie that's gonna be a giant toy commercial. It's not gonna be good, but at least I'm probably not gonna work like the higher ups are probably giving him a lot of crap about what to do and what not to do. So he probably got so frustrated. He's like, you know what? At least I get to say that I had Arnold playing Mr. Freeze. All right, because he went. Arnold was talking about how Schumacher told him that he wouldn't do the movie unless Arnold signed on, and it was like that important. So I'm guessing it was kind of those things of like just screw it, like Arnold.
It's like if this movie bombs, I want people to know. You may have turned Lou Ferrigno green, but I turned Arnold Schwarzenegger blue.
That's a good one. Man. I like that. Yeah.
But no, that's a person I can't wait to meet. I met Bruce Campbell as like the highest like celebrity I've met. I met also Kevin Conroy, and Kevin Conroy was really cool. Except I asked him to do a line from the Nolan movies and the Batman voice, and he got offended.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, really offended actually. Yeah,
Why?
Apparently he's a really old school actor, and the way he says like I'm not going to besmirch another actor's name by saying their lines just because you think I can do it better.
Oh, okay.
Oh. He said that it was he said it on video too while they were filming it at Asylum, and I was like, shit. You know who's an asshole actor? Robert Patrick.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, what a douche. I
did not know that.
I did security for him. He's a dick.
Really? What did he do?
He's just if you don't have boobs and a vagina, he will not talk to you. And during his panel, he was on his cell phone.
Ugh.
He was tweeting.
But I mean, I saw even today. I mean, for people that don't know who he is, he's the guy that played the TX in or T1000 in
Terminator 2.
Terminator 2. Yeah.
But if you haven't seen that movie, because I can understand that movie is kind of obscure, he was also Kogashuka in
obscure,
Double Dragons.
Yeah.
I mean, Double Dragons is a superior film in every way. Pretty sure everyone's seen Double Dragons. Terminator 2, kind of obscure. You may not know about that.
Double Dragon. Everyone's seen Double Dragon, man. Forget Mortal Kombat. Double Dragon. Yeah.
He signed my friend's VHS, though, of Double Dragon. He recognized, he remembers everything he's done. He was also Hawkman in an episode of The Batman, and I didn't even know that.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was I was a superhero.
Wes has unfortunately had to leave for a little bit, so just letting everybody know that he's out. But yeah, sorry about being sidetracked, everybody. I guess back to our main point. Back to Death Battle Superman vs. Goku. Again, we would have had a longer, more involved show tonight. It's just things happen, and we were not able to keep our second person here. I didn't prepare much today. I was kind of prepared to let some people take over, and because I wanted you guys to duke it out. And
we would have been respectful. We would have tried.
Yeah, we're approaching our first hour, so let's how about we save this for we're gonna probably do this next week and have the real official debate happening. Again, everybody, sorry about the inconvenience. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. We've had a pretty healthy listener amount tonight. If you have any comments, questions, anything we'd like us to address about the death battle, about the characters, by all means leave a comment. But next week we're going to try to have the showdown between Jimmy Russell versus Chris Soto here. I'd like to thank Wes for briefly joining me. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to stay for long, and obviously Chris Soto here for bringing his expertise. And next week we're going to try to have the full showdown. So stay tuned, everybody.
All right. Good night.